There are 298 prisoners on death row in the state of Florida. This is part 36 of the series. Sean Smith, 47 years old, 25 years on death row. Smith was found guilty of killing Grezna Mlinarczyk and given the death penalty. Mlinarczyk was discovered dead in her bedroom on October 29, 1996 by her boyfriend Zdzislaw Romiński. Mlinarczyk had been shot in the head and was completely naked. The morning of her murder, she had told Zdzislaw that she had a doctor's appointment and would call him afterwards. She never called and Zdzislaw was not able to contact her by phone. He then went to Mlinarczyk's house and entered with his key. She was lying in her bedroom, naked from the waist down. Firefighters found Mlinarczyk dead after responding to Zdislav's call. A lotion bottle, a woman's undergarment, a pillow with a bullet hole in one side and out the other, 2 bank envelopes with a total of $1,200, a shoebox holding $1,000, and a wallet holding $58 were among the goods that officers were able to seize from the scene. The officers also searched the area for any witnesses. Smith, who had lived close to Mlinarczyk's flat, was approached by the police during the canvass, but he claimed to have been at work and was unaware of the occurrence. Mlinarczyk had been shot through the pillow at close range, according to a medical examiner. He found genetic material in Mlinarczyk's private region, and she also had injuries there. Smith's blood sample revealed DNA that matched that of evidence taken from her body. Finally, a match between Smith's prints and the lotion bottle that the police had taken from her house was made. Edward ZAKRZEWSKI, 58 years old, 27 years on death row, for the murders of his wife Sylvia, as well as his 2 children, Edward and Anna. Edward ZAKRZEWSKI was found guilty and given the death penalty. ZAKRZEWSKI and his wife were having marital issues before the killings. According to reports, he told a neighbor he would rather kill his family than go through with a divorce. At Eglin Air Force Base, where ZAKRZEWSKI worked for the Air Force, his 7-year-old son Edward called him early on June 9, 1994, to let him know Sylvia was discussing wanting a divorce. After that, ZAKRZEWSKI went on his lunch break and bought a machete. He returned to work after making the transaction, working all day. He hid the weapon in the bathroom when he got home earlier than the rest of his family that evening. ZAKRZEWSKI attacked Sylvia and rendered her helpless by beating her twice in the head with a crowbar after his wife and kids arrived home. He brought her to their bedroom and used the crowbar to hit her in the head once again. He then used a piece of rope to strangle her. ZAKRZEWSKI then called his son into the bedroom to brush his teeth. With the machete he had hidden behind the door, he assaulted Edward. The defensive wounds on Edward's arms and wrists showed that he tried to deflect some of the punches. Edward's severe head, neck, and back traumas caused his death. After that, ZAKRZEWSKI summoned his daughter Anna into the toilet and he also killed her. There is some disagreement regarding whether Anna was killed as soon as she entered the bathroom or whether he made her bend over the bathtub where her brother's body was lying before killing her in an execution-style manner. Anna's hands and arms also had signs of defensive wounds. Following the killings, ZAKRZEWSKI drove to Orlando and booked a flight to Hawaii. He adopted a new name and settled down with a family who managed a spiritual commune in Hawaii. After the family he was staying with saw his image on Unsolved Mysteries, ZAKRZEWSKI turned himself in to Hawaiian authorities. LEROY Pooler, 75 years old, 27 years on death row. Pooler visited the home of his ex-girlfriend Kim Brown on January 30, 1995. He rapped on the apartment's front door. Miss Brown informed Pooler that she no longer wanted to see him after she realized it was him. Pooler shot her multiple times as he pulled her back toward the apartment. He hesitated briefly and asked, "You want some more?" Many people saw the shooting. 5 shots were fired at Miss Brown, one of which struck her in the head. Pooler left in his vehicle. Miss Brown revealed to one of her friends 2 days before the incident that Pooler had threatened to kill her. He said that if he could not have her, no one else would. David Miller, 64 years old, 25 years on death row. In June 1997, he admitted to killing a person in Jacksonville, Florida, to a police officer in Louisiana. He said he killed a man by beating him during a robbery. Miller spoke with a detective, was advised of his rights, and described what had happened on April 4, 1997. In a park, he discovered a dented 6-foot pipe. Then Miller went around the building and noticed a man curled up with a blanket. He said that until he was standing over the victim with the pipe, he had no intention of robbing him. Miller admitted to consuming 3 to 4 quarts of beer and $10 worth of crack cocaine before the event. He claimed that after that, he started looking for cash and more drinks. Miller said that he struck Albert Floyd with the pipe in order to knock him out and prevent a struggle. He emphasized that killing the individual was not his goal. To get the man to stop resisting, he struck him again. His justification was that he wanted to protect himself from harm because homeless people often carried weapons. Linda Fullwood was sleeping next to Mr. Floyd. According to her, when she awoke, she discovered a man hitting Mr. Floyd with a stick or a pipe. Miller also attacked Mrs. Fullwood with the pipe while she was screaming. He claimed that he punched Fullwood out of instinct and without thinking. As Mrs. Fullwood was screaming, Jimmy Hall, who was strolling along Duval Street, heard her and sprinted to the scene. Hall claimed to have witnessed a man using a pipe to beat 2 individuals. Hall observed the attacker swinging the pipe with both of his hands. He shouted at the attacker to halt. Miller claimed that Hall recognized what he was doing when Hall yelled and ran away. 3 hits to the head that cracked his skull and entered his brain caused Mr. Floyd's death. Miller claimed that he came forward because he believed the victim's family was seeking for him. His conscience was troubled and he understood what he had done was wrong. He wanted to make amends to the victim's family. After Miller was transferred to Jacksonville, he took a detective to the crime scene and talked to him about what was the sequence of events. Arthur Martin, 54 years old, 11 years on death row. Martin was given the death penalty by a jury in just under 45 minutes. The man, also known as Shorty Fat, was found guilty of killing Javon Daniels, 19 years old, in October 2009. While Daniels was in his car in a Jacksonville apartment complex, Martin shot him 12 times. The incident took place in full view of nearby kids who were playing during the day. Martin killed Daniels less than 6 months after being freed from jail for second-degree murder. Marvin Cannon, 44 years old, 11 years on death row. For a robbery murder, Cannon was given a death sentence by the state of Florida. Court records state that he and a companion robbed 2 men, stabbed both of them, killing one of them. The man that was murdered was stabbed more than 30 times on Christmas Eve 2010. William Davis, 45 years old, 11 years on death row. Davis was found guilty of kidnapping, assaulting, and premeditatedly killing Fabiana Malave, a 19-year-old Florida woman. He grabbed Miss Malave, who worked at a car dealership, made her accompany him to his house, where she was essayed before being killed. With that, my friends, we are done with the Florida series. Please hit that subscribe button if you like my channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.